Hey there everyone, I hope you're having a truly magical day today. Today I wanted to discuss a topic that's been on my mind for a little while, but I feel like we haven't really had enough information in order to make this video. But now I feel like we have a lot more info to go on. We've had more time to experience different virtual and augmented reality, and today I think is a good day to discuss a topic that has been brought to my attention and I have been thinking about, and that's the metaverse and virtual reality and augmented reality around the parks. It's a topic that I think needs to be discussed because a lot of us are starting to see different virtual realities and augmented realities introduced all around us, whether it be in our workplace or if it's maybe a different theme park or maybe it's a roller coaster with a virtual reality headset in a different park. There's clearly a lot of virtual and augmented reality out there. And recently we were at IAAPA and this convention was truly amazing. We tried some virtual reality that felt real. I'm telling you, it felt like when you got hit with a blaster, you really felt it. And the accuracy of your gun when I was playing those games really was beyond anything I had experienced before, and it really opened my eyes to the idea of this virtual reality when it comes to entertainment. Now let's roll the clocks back a little bit and think about virtual reality as we had it before at Walt Disney World. That was the Void VR experience, and if you had the opportunity to experience Void before, I gotta tell you, it was so much fun. You were a stormtrooper in the Star Wars one, and you were making your way and you were fighting off all the bad guys, and you were just, going around trying to sneak around and find the artifact, and you saw Vader. It was amazing. It was a truly incredible experience that I loved and I really wish had stuck around. Now, of course, the company is no longer there, and perhaps we'll see something replace it or, something different, completely different, replace it in the future, but it gave us all an idea of what this special entertainment could be. Now that Disney Quest is gone, a lot of us have been thinking, hey, maybe this is an opportunity for Disney to showcase different technology around the parks in the future. Disney really used to do that, be at the forefront of technology, and this is truly the future. The issue here is that the technology is moving so quickly, it's hard for Disney or any company to keep up because they'd constantly have to be upgrading every single one of their systems. Let's pretend it's every 2 years at, I'm going to say, a minimum. Now, the other day I saw online an idea of using virtual reality or augmented reality inside the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser instead of having, kind of the, I'm going to call it only so-so Star Wars lightsaber experience that we saw demoed by Josh DeMero when we had Destination D23. It was interesting, but I don't think anyone was really impressed by it. And we saw a lot of cancellations for the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser shortly after a lot of these videos were released, because when people saw the video, they realized that it's really not as impressive as they were first thinking. I have to admit, when I was thinking about, deflecting, blaster fire, I was expecting a lot more than what we saw in that video. So clearly it's something that Disney, was trying to focus in a different arena, right? That's not, they were thinking, oh, let's kind of get this as a kind of a cool thing. You could say you did it, you took pictures, and I've seen others talk about this where it feels like it's more about taking the picture and kind of showing your friends rather than actually really living in that experience and feeling like you are truly immersed in the Star Wars story. And this could have been a perfect opportunity for virtual reality to really make its footprint here. And I saw Braden actually talked about this just the other day in his video, great video by the way, and I thought it was really well put together, and I think it makes a lot of sense for what Disney could do in the future with virtual reality. Now let's continue on this topic and think about the metaverse, because for a while, if you haven't been following, Facebook changed their name to Meta, and they are going to be making what's called the Metaverse. And in this special Metaverse, you'll have the opportunity to basically live in any way you want. You can be anyone, do anything, go anywhere, experience any adventure, just have the best time you can possibly imagine doing anything. Flying, swimming, underwater, moving planets, you name it, you can do it in the Metaverse. And that's the idea behind the Metaverse. Now, many have expressed concerns about privacy and whether or not this will really take away from, reality, because Disney, for many of us, is our escape. And I love Disney. I do. It's a great escape. It's perfect for the whole family. But the question is, if we have a metaverse, an area where we can escape and move planets, why would we go to Disney? I think it's actually a relatively big concern because there is something to be said for being able to do things that basically we're stuck on this planet. Let's just take the planet one as an example. We're stuck on planet Earth. We're trying to get to Mars. We'll get there at some point, and one day we'll be a galactic species, hopefully. But for now, in our lifetime anyway, it's very likely that we're going to be stuck on this planet. And that's okay. That's fine. It's a beautiful planet. Let's just talk about our planet for a minute. Absolutely gorgeous place. And we're going to get back to that in a second. But imagine you could put on this headset. Imagine it being the most comfortable headset you can imagine, right? You think today, virtual reality, you put on this big bulky thing. Yeah, it's the early start of the technology, but we can definitely see the future, right? Something so comfortable, it feels like you're wearing nothing and just looking with your naked eye into infinity. And that's the idea behind virtual reality in the future and what Facebook is working on. So what does it mean for Disney? Well, first of all, they can take this technology right now as it is and create the most immersive experience imaginable. They could take Disney Quest 2.0 and create it within something else, right? Whether it be void technology or something else entirely, it clearly already exists. Disney could purchase it, could be a part of it, could create it themselves and make something that really feels out of this world. And I guarantee if Disney was to do something like the void, just like the void, not even something super far out there, but something like the Void or the IAPA experience where we were using those guns, or it doesn't even matter, just a magic wand, whatever you call it, Disney used their imagination. They've got some of the best Imagineers in the world, right? Why not use that imagination to create something that is just truly, truly magical and incredible, and that guests would continue to come back for and pay for again and again? I went to the Void VR experience, played the exact same game, no change in the game 3 times. 3 different times. And it cost, I'm thinking it's about $60, something like that, $30. I can't remember anymore, but it was relatively expensive, right? It's not a super inexpensive thing. And I'm willing to go back and do it again and again. And I was not the only one. This is an opportunity for Disney to say, okay, we've got technology here. Yes, it's going to be evolving. Maybe let's pretend every 2 years, but why not create something where guests want to come back again and again, feels like real life, and all we need is some programmers to make it something new all the time. Now let's get back to the metaverse for a moment. Does this Facebook metaverse kind of pose a threat for real life experiences? And we're going to go back to the beauty of nature. We go outside, we go on these cruises, right? The cruise, I think, is a perfect example. You go on this cruise, you go to places you can't even imagine. You see the most beautiful sunrises coming over the ocean. It's beyond compare, beyond anything I have ever experienced before, and I just love cruising. I cannot wait to get back on a cruise again. But the question is, will the metaverse, once it feels like reality, and let's pretend for a moment the metaverse or wherever we are in virtual reality feels truly real, truly, truly real. The concern is, will real life start to feel boring because the metaverse feels so real? And I'm going to say this kind of loosely, because it feels better than real life. Now, when I say better, I mean, you can rewind the sunset and see it again and again and again, or add more birds to your scene. You know what I mean? You can make reality what you want it to be. I think there is truly a concern there because if you think about the future, and I'm going to use Disney references here, we think about WALL-E, right? In WALL-E, everyone had their own personal screen, and yes, they were trapped on the ship, and yes, because the planet was, right, we want to protect the planet, no question about that, because it's beautiful, beautiful place, we only got one, we got to protect it. But you think about what they were doing, they had the basically virtual reality, right? And it was not quite as advanced as what we're thinking about now, but the same idea applies. They were there, they were in their own little worlds, and it was only because of an accident they were able to create meaningful relationships with others. And that is so valuable. It's so important. It's something that we really have got to hold on to, because a relationship that we build in real life is so much more valuable than anything we can experience through a virtual world. But the issue is going to become the virtual world is going to feel like real life. And this is where I think the kind of change is going to happen, where a lot of people are going to start taking their vacations in virtual worlds. And there's going to be a market that comes out of that, I guarantee it. But I think eventually, and there's going to be kind of a divide, there are going to be some who really enjoy it for work and some small, fun things to do, and then want to go on a real adventure and go to some, place around the world. And then there are going to be those who take their vacations from their couch. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that there's going to be 2 different sets of folks who say, you know what, I prefer the virtual, and some who say, I prefer the real. No matter what, the Disney parks will still exist. There will be guests who want to experience the real life, right? Not just the virtual world. And there's always going to be, traffic for that, which is great. But Disney has got to jump on board and say, look, this is the future. Let's continue to enhance our attractions with this technology. But there's an alternative here. Imagine for a moment we had the Tron Light Cycle attraction, and it was totally in virtual reality. I am one who says, you know what, I kind of rather have the real life. I don't want virtual reality goggles while I'm riding it. But since I went to IAAPA and I saw how realistic this virtual reality can be when they really take the technology to the next level, I can see the value of it. I can. So for me, it comes into, I want both. I want some real and some virtual. The reality is, because that way we can see something new every single time. Let's take an example, Space Mountain. Space Mountain is a fantastic attraction. It's in the dark, you don't know which way you're gonna turn, it's so much fun. But imagine you had the option to wear a virtual reality headset, and it felt very natural, very comfortable, it wasn't cumbersome, it was easy to wear. Would you opt to put that on knowing that you'd be able to choose where you went? Maybe instead of a roller coaster through the dark, it's a roller coaster around Mars, or through Saturn, or through the center of the Earth, or under the oceans, or around Yosemite. You choose it right there and then. I think Disney has an opportunity here to really capitalize on this. They can create virtual and real, and I do not want to take away from the real. The real is absolutely critical, but this is an opportunity for Disney to kind of stay ahead and continue to create magical experiences where we truly feel transported and we're in a brand new place. I hope that Disney does something like this in the future, and I think the technology already exists for them to start to create that. Yes, another 5 or 10 years will make it even better, but I think starting now, just to see, just as a test, to see what guest feedback is and continue to advance it, I think Disney could really be looking at an opportunity here. Overall, I am very excited for the future. There are so many things to look forward to, whether it be in virtual reality or in reality, of course. There are a lot of things to smile about. Now, these real things will always be there. We're always going to want to experience them, but virtual reality is coming, and after experiencing what I did, I can tell you, it really is cool. Of course, there are some things we got to be aware of, like not falling into the trap of feeling like virtual is the real. That's going to be important. However, I think that all the kind of factors are there to make it a really cool experience. We just got to be responsible with it. Those are a few of my thoughts about virtual reality coming to the parks in the future. Do you think it's going to mess up Disney parks? Do you think that no one's going to want to go to Disney after we have a metaverse and basically Disney virtually? Do you think that anyone's going to want to go to Disney once we have the entire experience in virtual? Or do you think that the virtual experiences won't be nearly as fun because you won't be able to feel like the G-forces moving around or get the high score in reality? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for being a part of the magic with me today. Until next time, have a magical day.